Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 399. Those of you curious though, when am I going to do episode stinger? Well, I made a decision on that finally. I'm going to do it right after I watch this show's first official movie they actually had, which I'm going to do that tomorrow after I do episodes 23 and 24. I figured they'll why not put it there. It's not a bad idea. At least I'll get it done. So in the case of these 6 episodes, 17 and 18 is basically a two-parter which debuts Kyoryuger. And of course, basically he's in a warrior spirit. Technically, in a way, he is the 8th ranger introduced in the series. Yes, he's the 8th one. So basically comes to give him basically his Zord because he's dead. And use it for combat, which of course they do. So in order to get him to use his thing, they all basically take tests. King managed to pass this pretty easily, and then when they try later on, apparently his ability doesn't work, and Gray basically got like a jerk, like saying Uchi didn't have to participate in the trials for reasons unexplained. So then at the end of episode 17, because apparently King failed to eliminate the monster of the episode, he's told he needs to leave the Kyorygers because he failed. But he keeps his morpher, gets to a fight with him. Eventually, it's going to come to his side. Well, of course, he names Uchi as the leader, which Uchi doesn't want to be a leader because for one thing, he's a relic. And for one thing, he is not good at leadership skills, per se. So, even he agrees, basically, taking King out of, the team actually is a terrible idea. So, pretty much, basically, after using the same move he does with the whole Bucci thing with the smashing stuff, at first, basically, he had his move, and he basically ends up cracking his helmet. But not seriously, though. And it turns, and there's also this fisherman who's basically coming to the Twilight Forest. So it turns out this fisherman, now Torin, apparently had no idea what the heck that Kyoryu Silver even looked like without the suit on. At least Kyron basically he did, because when we first meet him, he's basically out of suit with Romulus. Tessin, for some reason, they don't really show him. And then he's actually this bald monk with basically the mark of his having his symbol on his outfit on his head, and of course a small bruise there from right after when King basically punched him in the head. So I find that interesting. Torin never bothered to ask him, "Hey, what do you look like with your suit on?" I'm like, you know this guy for a long time, and you don't know what he looked like? That didn't make any sense to me at all. That or the fact maybe he changed his look and no one knew about it. I'm not sure. But then pretty much the next episode is them using his Zord as an attachment. And it's also an episode that focuses on Uchi, where basically he's helping his kid out, which apparently this is all about kids being really, really spoiled to the point where they can't do anything without their parents basically doing stuff for them. And this whole thing is kind of a character moment for him. Now, this is kind of interesting in this episode with the whole he's a man out of time, he's helping a kid out. This seems very similar to the episode they did in basically Down Charts, except that basically that Zyuden didn't get this. Oh no. This went to Koda, the caveman. It is interesting though that Down Charge did this where they would swap stuff. Oh, one thing I did notice though, especially with the next episode where basically Ian likes dinosaurs. This is interesting though, given the fact that they gave that trait to, Down Charge Pink. Interesting, the fact they gave that. Ian, his counterpart didn't get much to do anyways. Yeah. The whole thing of this one is quite interesting because this one's also good character boost for This also is an episode that kind of in a way focuses on King, where the plot of this one is basically, oh, there's this thing about this date called January 7th. Not January, it was July 7th, where it's like, kind of like this wishing day, and of course everybody's wish coming true, and then within hours they're basically dying because the guy's cursed. And eventually, of course, well, he's able to be stopped by, get this, now, he was seen previously briefly in episode 18. Here he's back in 20. Except this episode's not an illusion, it's the actual thing. It's King's dad. Which, this is interesting because, with the exception of an illusion, most of the people we see this guy in flashbacks. He's got this pouch he holds, and then later on, basically, torn his later scene with this pouch. What's going on with this pouch? I don't know. It's not really very clear. Apparently, and also his father is very happy the fact he's still on the path of the Great Lizards. He's very proud of his son, and then he just disappears. Of course, his teen he does not tell his teen the fact that was actually his dad, which that would have been interesting, but nope, not really. 2122 is basically, well, start of a story arc, which concludes episode 20, mostly in the case of the next couple episodes. Where in the case of 21, we debut Kyoryu Violet, the 9th Kyoryuger. Yes, the 9th one. I'm thinking, wow, 9 Rangers. Which, this is a record. There is one more coming, but that won't happen until a little bit later. As a matter of fact, that arc actually leads into a movie I'm going to hopefully get a chance to view soon in the future, which I look forward to. So, we see that now. Here's something very familiar. Okay, so in this first episode, we find out that we meet this doctor who actually invented their morphers and their weapons. And also, he's the voice on the you'd be hearing is like episode. It's him. Now, I wonder if this actually is the actor who actually does that voice originally. Possibly, I'm not sure. He also has his granddaughter, which you find some interesting in the next episode. I'll get to that in a minute. So, he tends to overstand himself. He also, when they first see him, they do note the yellow in his outfit is the same color as theirs. And the reason why that is because he's the first Spirit Ranger they've actually encountered who's actually alive. I'm like, that's interesting. And they also mentioned in this episode that his Zord actually was something who was aquatic based, that he basically converted to space travel. Interesting. We also see that his granddaughter Yuki has got, well, dating everybody. We'll do with King, I'll get to that. So, yeah. We show off the Zord, and he transforms. And by the way, as basically his kid, like, oh crap, he's coming. Let's survive the 3 extinction monsters who will possibly of the theory of the reason why the dinosaurs wiped out. The Ice Age monster, the Meteor monster, which, by the way, a little fun fact about the Meteor monster. He is voiced by Frankie's sub-actor. How do I know this? Because I've watched a lot of One Piece subbed. That's why I know who this is. Yeah, that's Frankie's sub-actor. I'm like, that's interesting. Not the first time he's voiced the monsters in Sentai, but great to hear his voice. I mean, he does a little over top. There's the one who's a virus. They bring you back and Bug out basically like, oh, we can't read it, but look how he does. The plan does fail when it comes to that. Also, the Extinctioners decided to, at one point, attack the Kyorugers, with the signature move of Sun Vulcan. With the ball thing. It's like, ooh, pass me the ball. Pass, kick, bam. Yeah, that reminds me a lot of Sun Vulcan. This is basically a standard Sun Vulcan thing. Actually, it's not Sun Vulcan. I think it's more like, either Sun Vulcan or it's like Gogo V. I'm a little surprised, basically, they made a note of this, given the fact it's only a 37 Sentai. Yeah, I did not expect that at all. Eventually, of course, Meteor Monster is destroyed in the very same episode. And then, of course, that they have two left. Of course, they have everybody there, and of course, looking for the base. Which, okay, so Chaos gets basically like very desperate, so he kind of force revives basically. Well, it turns out that the frozen cast, as what's called, is actually the body of their boss. Now, why in the world they've been hanging out his body as a base? Not really explained at this point. So he kind of does a forced revival at the end of episode 2022. Which, of course, the virus monster... Of course, they do this by dumping all the refreshed water that Lakiro had in his watering pot. His pumpkin-themed watering pot he's had since episode 1. And he dumps it out. And then, of course, the virus... Hey, we don't have the pot. Pot's empty. Dump in the damn water because that has the fresh water. And he goes giant size. And then he's pretty much killed by his own boss. Yes, seriously. Also, that one of his... He refers to his offspring. He also proceeded to... By the way, okay, so it's revealed that Yuki may be in love with King. But she's not the only one. Uchi kind of points out to Amy that she's also in love with... That she likes King. And that's sort of set up here. I'm like, that's interesting. If you watch the series so far, it doesn't seem like she's interested in him. And then we notice in this episode she kind of is interested in him because she's getting jealous over the fact that Yuki has got a thing for basically a guy she also likes. And of course she's serious. Seems like Yuki's like, what's wrong? Like nothing. And then eventually they kind of do a tee up basically when she just kind of throws her around and uses her kicks to beat the monsters, which I thought was kind of funny. The episode ends a big cliffhanger with, of course, the boss. That's it for this. Basically about to destroy the new Zorf, basically the current Zorf nation. Which they tried to use the Western one. Then of course the two Zords that make it up got damaged. So now basically we have two more Zords plus the Pterodactyl Zord merged with two, which. It's really cool. Now, I love these episodes. And, of course, as of right now, before my break, I have exactly 14 episodes left to go. Now, normally I would stop like 30, 32-ish. But I wanted to stop at 36 because that leads into a movie I really want to review. It is also the penultimate movie that I have seen, but I've never reviewed. Yeah, can you believe it? It's only this is the penultimate one. There's actually one more in the very next series, but Kyoryuger is not the next one. No. It is going to be a different one, but I will get to Kyoryuger eventually. Okay? So yeah, that's a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do hit the like button. Well, see you all later. Bye.